Hey guys, how's it going? We're back for another video here. This is actually going to be on one of the new maps, and I don't particularly think this is the best strategy, but it's a fun strategy. I played it once for a little while. I got up to I think I got up to around 85-ish. So we're going to see how far it gets. I didn't play it out, I just quit the game because I wasn't recording and it was just in practice mode. But the strategy uses the submarine, the ice tower, and super monkeys. And well, that's it. I mean, it's just a fun strategy. It's somewhat difficult to get a good setup to where these work, but this map really makes this strategy work pretty well, the way it's set up. I'm kind of wondering if this map is actually now better than Battle Park to get really far on a map. It competes with it because the balloons stay on this map for a very long time, and they circle around the middle, which gives your towers a lot of time to hit. So I'm kind of wondering if this one is actually slightly better than Battle Park, because it's nice and clear around everything. It is kind of difficult to get temples 3 across on here in some spots, so it might be a little bit more difficult to get 10 of those temples on this map, but if you can, I think this might be better than Battle Park as far as trying to set a new record, as a lot of people try to do. But gonna still stick with my same restriction of just using 3 towers and starting out with 10 tacks. This isn't trying to set any records. This isn't really even trying to show you the best strategy, because really the best strategy would probably be something along the lines of Wizard, the Super Monkey, and Balloon Chipper, or the Wizard, Ice Tower, and Super Monkey, or Wizard, Bomb Tower, and Super Monkey. Those would really give you a much better late game defense against the Moabs and greater, I think. Maybe I just don't think that this is that strong, because the sub really loses a lot of its big power against late game. I know you have first strike ability, but when you compare the first strike ability versus even the Tech Terror, Tech Terror is much better. And as much as you try, you can only fit 4 subs on this map. It looks like you can squeeze 3, but I have not been able to. If you can, show me, but it just is just too narrow to get 3 subs in each one of those water spots. So that limitation really makes it so the sub isn't that great in the late game, and so your better strategy probably is one of the other ones I mentioned. But this is a fun strategy, so I wanted to show it to you guys. And you get pretty far in the game anyway, so I think if you play this, most likely you're going to win anyway. But you know, if you're going for winning every single time, maybe you don't want to play this one. But you know, if you want to have a good time, it's fun. So here we go. So, you know, we start out with my same strategy here of 10 tacks at the beginning. Now, I don't know if this is necessary. I think because of the length of the track, getting economy up as fast as you possibly can probably isn't as vital. You could probably just get $1,000 boost and then start placing your towers and then build up your economy. But I kind of like this whole strategy of doing 2 boosts, but I don't think this is necessary. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I put down 10 tacks, and then I get $2,000 boosts before I put down any other towers. The reason I do this is because if you do the math, like when you're making 120 per tick, or per every 6 seconds, that means you're going to have 1,200 at the point when the 1,000 is going to be available again. So that means you have $200 to spend, but we don't have any towers that cost less than or equal to 200. So you would have to wait longer to get your next $1,000 boost. So just to prevent that and get your economy up as fast as possible, this is what I'm doing. But really, on a map like this, it's a little overkill. I'm certain you could get away with it without doing this, but just for the sake of being consistent with my strategies here, I'm going to do it for now. If I do another video on this map and I'm really trying to get as far as I possibly can, then I might not. Then I probably won't do that. I'll probably do a strategy of like only using like 2 or 3 tacks, maybe 0. This map is so long, you might be able to do it without putting any down. But I'll do that in my next one if I turn around and try to make another video with one of the other 3 tower loadouts that I mentioned. But anyway, after we got the 1,000, we put our sub up to 1-1, and now we're going to get another boost. There we go. And now we're going to get this sub up to we're going to give it airburst darts, and then we'll start the second sub. Get ready here. Now see, I basically already have it under control, and even this strategy that I'm doing now looks like I could do it without tacks, because each tack stack kills 10 balloons, I believe. And so I placed all 10. If I had not placed those, I would be down to 23 lives right now. So let's watch to see if I lose any more. I don't believe I do. So I think you'd actually be safe even with this strategy to not place those tacks down. Let's pay attention to that and see how far we get before, if we lose any more lives, before we get up into the more established defensive rounds. Like once our defense is really set up well, and we're definitely not going to lose any more lives. We're still going to leak a couple here. I think probably only 3 more will get through on the camo. On the first camo round, this round right here, because I don't have any camo right now. But I will have camo detection by the time, I think it's round 17, is when a full round of camos come through. So I'll drop 3 more lives here, but it shouldn't be a big deal. I don't think there's any more rounds that really threaten until you get really late game, and by then, once you start hitting Moabs, if you let 1 through, you're going to lose even if you have 150 lives, so it doesn't matter if you lose a few here. And just because of the layout of the setup, the advanced intel isn't necessary yet. It's actually never really necessary. By that I mean, let me play around with this, see how close I can get subs. Okay. What I mean by that is, really I'm not using the subs for the late game, so I'm probably going to end up selling those bottom 2 and turning them into reactors by the end. So, and I can do that pretty early on, so it's just not necessary to have that for the late game. And really, by the time you would even think about using it now, it's already beyond the point when it really is that helpful. So it's just unnecessary. Bottom line. So we got our camo detection and massive killing, and this is what I mean by it being a little bit more fun. The next thing we're going to do is start putting some ice towers down, and I'm going to make it a 2-2 for now. But this is basically infinite popping power. Once you have this set up to a 4-2, there's no balloons that get through, even just the sub and the ice tower. I think this little strategy has been found before. I don't think I'm the first one to have discovered this, but it's just a fun strategy, and I was having a good time with it, so I tested it out. It just doesn't quite seem to be good enough to really, if you go against someone that uses some of my other strategies, they'll probably end up winning, but against your average player, you're probably going to win these games. Now I'm going to save up. Once I've gotten to the 540 mark for economy, now I'm going to save up for the 7500 boost. And the 2-2 ice tower should be plenty for now. I know it's not stopping them entirely, and I'll show you hopefully soon what I mean by it like being infinite popping power and just absolutely dominating it. I have 7500 here in just a second, and then we will turn around and get the 1000 boost. Now let's get this up to a 4-2 now, the ice tower. See, now they completely stop, and the sub and the reactor just absolutely destroys everything there. And once I get my second, or the 4 tier, it's even better. The viral frost absolutely stops everything. Okay, so now I can basically completely ignore regular balloons and start setting up for Moabs and BFBs and ZOMGs. Like there's literally nothing that could even, I don't think, get through that first reactor and ice tower. It's detecting everything, it's killing everything. The weakness is the bigger guys. So you can go ahead and place, you can make this a Robo Monkey. See, the reactor even helps out the Robo Monkey now because it clears off the camo detection, and then the Robo Monkey can even attack those. That's always been kind of its weakness, is you save up and then you hit a camo round and they just all go right past your big tower. It's not its major weakness, but it's just one of those things that happens to everyone that tries to use the Super Monkey. You end up dying to camo because it just didn't even see it. I need to keep remembering to get my economy upgrades. I haven't really been keeping on top of that in this game, but we're going to do okay. At this point it's just not that vital. Should have saved up for the 7500 boost, that's more important. We'll save up for it now. You can sell these things. Yeah, do that. And just for the heck of it, I'm going to get a second sub. Place it as far to the right as I can. Remember to submerge it. And I tried to put them on both the furthest edges, just so that I could try to show you. Great. Trying to put it in the middle. I am going to pause for just a second. Luckily, I'm doing it in practice mode, so I can do that. I'm going to pause for just a second so I can plug in. And well, I can just leave it here so it doesn't go away. I'm going to walk away for a second just so I can get my wall charger here. Be right back. Hopefully that's good to go now. Go ahead and get our economy up. Obviously, I have a lot of money now. Should be okay. Get a second robo monkey up. Alright, and so I see, there's just nowhere to put it. So let's try to put it again down here. Just too close. Just no room in between. So you can only fit 4. Unless I'm going about that completely wrong. That's all you can fit. Put up another. Okay. And we're maxed out on economy. Probably done that a while ago, I wasn't paying attention. And there we go. I mean, we are completely dominating on anything other lower than the Moab. But basically now is when you start setting up the temples. Put that as high as possible. Leave room over in the corner. Trying to leave room over in the left corner. So this will be our first temple. As you guys have seen, you want to spend what we have with us. We can spend 30,000 by getting a 3-2 super monkey and just a regular 0-0 super monkey. That is exactly 30,000. And the ice tower also adds an ability, so you want to spend 30,000 there. I think, let's try to do the math. 300, 5, 925, So that would be 7,500, 13. It's 13,500. So you want to do 27. So we can do 2 of those. Is basically 27,000. Well, I don't know what the best. There's probably a better mix, but I'm going to do 2 4-0s and 1 3-0. Will be over 30,000. But I think I'm overspending by like 3,000. So there's probably a better way to be more efficient there. But I'm not real worried about money at this point, so I'm not going to worry about it. Yeah, I probably could have spent, because I know the right side is cheaper, so you could probably do something like 2 4-0s and 1 0-3, and that's probably all you need. I'd have to do the math, obviously, but something like that would probably work a little bit better if you really want to skimp on the money. Just don't think it's necessary. Hopefully this won't shut off. Plugged into the wall, but I was plugged into my computer. I thought that was going to charge it, but it didn't. It wasn't charging as I played. So hopefully I'm plugged into the wall now and we're good. Yeah, at this point, if I was not putting that restriction on me, actually the banana farms would be kind of nice right now. Unnecessary, but nice. I'd be able to get the temple faster, but I'm going to be able to get it without a problem anyway, so it's not really all that important. These sell 7,000. If I sold 2 of them, I could sell it for 7,000. Or no real reason to do that. Got reality breaking through. Gotta fix that. I just kind of like this strategy. You know, it's a little different, a little bit more, you know, you have to think about what you're doing. Kind of nice to get away from using the same exact strategy over and over again. A little bit more fun to have something that seems a little bit more specified. Like, I know I'm absolutely destroying all the balloons this way, and kind of cool having a setup where you know basically just 2 towers can absolutely dominate everything that you are, you know, worried about at the end. And I think what I'm going to do, depending on how far we get here, once I'm basically full on temples, I'm probably just going to have 1 reactor sub with a viral frost at the end of the map to get everything at the end of the map, because, you know, at the beginning the ZOMGs are going to get by that. So you want to set up your actual, you know, just the balloon defense at the end. I mean, the temples are basically going to absolutely melt everything anyway, but just to have that backup to clear everything off. So like, I could put the temples on strong or whatever, and not worry about the small stuff flying through by having this setup. And then I'll put the other 3 as first strike. Or maybe I'll probably do 2 reactors at the bottom and then do first strike up at the top. 2 first strikes and 2 reactors. But since we have to make all the temples, we're end up selling stuff. We're going to have to sell those subs just to make room. So we can, because otherwise it would eat the subs, and there's no benefit to that. And I've had 100,000 for a while now. I'm sitting here watching it get by us here. That was kind of dumb, but we're good now. So, now it's a matter of just setting up all of your temples, and why did we do that? What was it about? Usually I just set it somewhere where it's red, and then you can fine tune it. I want that one all the way up in the corner. Do the same thing with a 3, 2, and a 0, 0. Let's try to do the math real quick. So 300, 525, 925, 7425, 7425, 13425, 13425. 13425 times 2 is 26,850. So we've got 26,850, 26,850, 27,150, 250, 27,600, 27, 28, 29, 600, 29, 600, so I only need 400. There we go. So if you do a 2 4 zeros and 1 2 3, that'll be 3,000. Math. And I mean, there's actually a little bit more to this strategy too, other than what we've already done. I know I'm going to show you, the rest of this, but there's actually a little bit more to it. That's a little bit interesting. I just found out that the ice towers in general don't really do the slowing ability doesn't do anything to Moabs or greater, but the ability does. The right side ability slows it down. It doesn't stop it, but it actually looks like it permanently slows like a ZOMG down by almost half. Like I'm not sure how to test the actual speed, but as long as it is a ZOMG and you hit the ability, if it's on the map, you hit the ability, and as long as it is a ZOMG, it is half speed. If you pop it, everything that comes out is back to full speed. But like even if it went all the way around the map to the end, it would stay at half speed, which is actually pretty good. I don't know how that would compare to, obviously a balloon chipper slows it down a lot more than that, so that's why I don't know if it's that big of a deal. But it's just, kind of interesting that that actually does that. And I'll try to demonstrate what I mean, not just, I'll try to do a freeze or use one of the abilities when only one of the ZOMGs comes out at the beginning, and then all the ones behind it will pass it. and you'll kind of see that it never catches up. Hopefully I'll be able to demonstrate that. Let's get our second temple up. And I did some testing, and an interesting thing I also found was that if you're up against just one ZOMG, having 6 robo-monkeys, 2 3s, is actually better than 1 temple upgraded to exactly what I've got on the screen here. But once they're grouped, the temple is a lot better. Just because I guess the temples hit more times once it goes through, like it has more power through. So I guess it hits like basically all of the ZOMGs, and the Robo Monkey only, like in a group, it might only hit 3 instead of all 6 of them that are there. But it's just the actual Robo Monkey actually, like if you have the same dollar value of them, which is 6 is basically 150,000, and one of these temples is 160. But 6 Robo Monkeys actually pops a single ZOMG faster. So hopefully we're not going to run into any trouble here. We've got a pretty good defense set up at this point. Can't imagine anything really breaking through this anytime soon. Probably going to fast forward a lot of this at this point, just because there's not a whole lot to talk about once we get to this point. Now it's just a matter of placing all your temples and trying to fit as many as you can, and then once I'm basically at least got 5 up, I'll probably slow it down again and try to demonstrate the absolute zero ability that I was talking about. So I've already got a 4-2. I already spent some, so I don't need to spend. That's probably enough. Don't want to skip out just a little bit and not get it right. Actually might be a good, I mean, they're not a real threat, but they are actually getting pretty far down the map. So I might go ahead and, once I have this temple up, go ahead and put down an absolute zero temple or an absolute zero tower, and start using them just to slow the stuff down, just to be safe. getting around most of the middle ring. And if they get out of range of those top two temples, then I would be in trouble. It's actually getting kind of close, so need to be a little careful here. Should have sold off one of the reactor subs too. I didn't get the money back on that, but not a big deal. So I'm going to go ahead and place 3 of these guys. Absolute zero. Doesn't really, I don't think the left side's going to matter, especially since I'm placing it out of the way. But I'm going to put 3 just so I can use the ability basically between every round. But let me show you. See? So I just used it, and as you can see, some of the ZOMGs are passing up some of the other ones. And hopefully we'll be able to see here that, you know, they're not blue or anything. There's no indication that they're affected, but they're obviously slower, and they never speed up. Like, they're not catching the other ones at all. And they never speed up again. So it looks like it's a permanent slowing down effect, which I think is pretty cool. Now, like, having 3, I think is all you need to be able to do it between each round. We'll see if that actually is true, or if I need to put another one, we'll be able to just play it out and see how it goes. I can put it lower. It's got room at the bottom. I don't know if that really gives it enough room at the bottom. Show it up a little bit. Keep it against the wall. Again, it's not really that vital that I think we're still safe, but just for the sake of not getting surprised by anything, I'll use the slowing down effect every once in a while here. You know, it's just a precaution at this point, but I guess that's better to do. I don't know, it's about the same. We're not talking about a major difference. So 4-0, 4-0, and then we could actually do that. So we're chugging along here. Round 70 pretty easily. So I think what I'm going to do, just to plan this out, I'm going to try to fit 10 temples. I don't know if that's possible. We're going to try. And then once I get all 10 in there, I'm going to go ahead and set up the reactor and the 4-2 ice tower at the end, and then I'm going to try to fill every available space after that with 2-3 robo monkeys all set to strong, because I think having them attack the ZOMGs is more important than the smaller towers, because I think it's really about popping the big thing and let the temple just kind of clear up, because the temple really hits big groups, but we really want it to clear off whatever's at the front, but it'll hit everything that it passes through as well, so I think it's safe to just put it on first, and then it's going to hit a bunch of stuff anyway. But we want the robo monkeys to try to target the big targets. At least that's the game plan that I have in my head. Just so you guys know, I know you can see two icons up there. That's on purpose. Those are the programs that I use. It's called Reflector 2 and Open Broadcast Software. The Reflector 2 is what puts my iPad, what's on my iPad over here, and the Open Broadcast software is what allows me to use the webcam and the green screen and microphone and all of these things. It's a great free program. Reflector 2 is, I think, 15 bucks. Open Broadcast software is free, which is a great price. Our fourth temple. And freeze it up again. Another advantage to this, this is actually like one thing that people don't really think about. A balloon chipper does, if you're doing practice mode, it's great if you're trying to set a world record. However, if I was playing against you using this strategy, you might lose with balloon chippers, because you might just get, because I'm going to be clearing off my side, and I believe the game works if someone gets a certain percentage of their side clear, the next round starts. So if I'm clearing my side off faster than you, then you're going to get more and more big ZOMGs, and all of a sudden Moabs will pop out on you all at once, and you'll have a much harder time clearing. So this may actually beat a balloon chipper strategy, just because you're never, the problem with, well, there's two different strategies with balloon chippers. If you're using the ability, then the temples or whatever you're using to shoot can attack them at all the entire time you're using the ability. But if you use the other side where it pulls in the ZOMGs, the other towers can't actually attack there. So what you're actually doing is just stalling, but not actually killing anything. And you could set yourself up to lose doing that, because if you don't, if you're not doing damage to them, you're not clearing it off, and all of a sudden you're just going to get overwhelmed. So, you know, I'm not saying that it's a worse strategy, but you definitely have to be careful with that strategy. I kind of like this. This is more fun to me, but you know, it's kind of similar, but it's up to you. Obviously you guys can choose for yourself, but I think that strategy probably would be better overall, but you know, it's kind of hard to say without playing one-on-one or putting both games next to each other and seeing how far each one gets. But really what you need to do is have two people play this and do the two different strategies, because really the test is, if this kills it faster, does this overwhelm the bloon chipper? Because if it overwhelms the bloon chipper, then this is a better strategy, obviously. So, might want to do a little research on that. Just something to think about. How long gone here? 42 minutes. Total record time 46 minutes. I notice we are still at 120 lives. Did not lose any more lives after that initial the beginning of the game. So, in theory, I could have played this game without any tax, and I would have been at 20 lives instead. So, you know, the tax were unnecessary for this game. I don't know how tight that is, as far as, you know, like if you don't do tax, like if you are 6 seconds too late, do you lose those extra 20 lives, or do you have actually plenty of time? That I don't know. I can't answer for you. I'd have to go back, look at the video, and see how close I really was once I started putting the sub up, and how fast it was clearing stuff off. But, you know, it's kind of another one of those. Gotta do some research if you want to find out. Get another temple here. So we have 5 temples. I think I'm only going to be able to fit 9. 5 on the bottom and 4 up top. That's my guess. I don't think I'm going to be able to get one in that upper ring. So I'm only going to be able to get hopefully 4 along the right side and 1 in the bottom ring. That's probably all I'm going to be able to fit, because that's too close. I can get one in here, obviously, but that's too close to the top one. Well, maybe I can. That might work right there. But then I can't put one over on the right side, because it's behind the energy boost. That's too close. If I do this, then I can put it way up here and definitely fit 4 on the outside. So, yeah, I think I'm only going to fit 9. Go ahead and slow that stuff down a little bit. Round 87. Melting things like it's nothing. I like just a little hint for what I like to do to make sure I don't upgrade the wrong temple, because I have two sun gods there. I like to put the one that I upgrade to a 3-2 close to another temple, so I know, hey, that's way too close. If I upgrade that one, it's going to devour another temple. Just gives me that sense of mind, or peace of mind, that I'm going to pick the right one. I've done that a few times. That's annoying. It's actually a lot closer than you think. Like, I've played some games where I accidentally devoured, like I did a temple that devoured 2 other temples, and I think I had 6 temples. I made a new one that devoured 2, so I was down to 5, and I lost, because I know you're putting up temples and you think those are all powerful, but really you're still just a little bit ahead of the game. So you make one big mistake like that and it can cost you the game, even though you're talking about temples, which are, you know, the strongest towers in the game by far. But you can easily mess it up and fall all the way down. And it's just not enough defense anyway. Which is somewhat surprising. That's probably in radius, so I'm just going to do one of these. Yeah, I probably should be more on top of using the absolute zero ability. I'm gonna definitely need to once we get over around 100, just because if we might get to a point where it actually is the only thing keeping us alive. So I'll probably need to make more so that I can use the ability multiple times per round. But we have plenty of room to do that with, so it's not going to be an issue. I just want to fit I want to try to squeeze a bunch of 2, 3, and then if we get to the point of being able to upgrade them to 2, 4 super monkeys. So I don't want to overkill the ice towers. Like, if you have too many, it doesn't help you other than using the ability. So I don't want to have too many and it just taking up space for towers that actually do the damage. Gotta find a good balance. Right, so up to 6. Right? So if I get 1, 2, 3. Maybe I can get, we're going to try to get, maybe we can get 10. I don't know what I was thinking just now. Because I do have one in the middle up top. It's not in the ring, but it's above the ring. So to put one on the right side, maybe, because there's a little room to work with. I don't know if it's enough room to work with, but we'll find out. I'm going to put it all the way over as far as I can, so I can squeeze it lower on the right wall. You'll be able to see the tower. Basically what I'm trying to do is make it so that the ring does not cover the middle of the other temple, which is kind of hard to tell once you place it, so you have to do it while you're placing it. Make sure these are all updated. Okay. Actually getting a little tough here. That last round got pretty far, so we may not make that much further. So another thing to remember here is all of these temples now have the Ice Tower special effect, which again doesn't affect the Moabs or greater, but it is basically freezing all those balloons underneath that you can't see. It's hitting them with the Ice Tower effect, the slowing effect. So just another, it's actually probably a little bit better as far as not letting like a bunch of the ceramics get through underneath, like just because they're fast and some towers aren't quite strong enough to really clear them off quickly. It's getting pretty close down there. I think we still have one more full loop at the bottom, so it's not that close yet, but we're getting kind of close to our limit here, I think. Man, that spiral looks intimidating, doesn't it? Spiral of ZOMGs. We may not even get to a point of being able to put robo-monkeys down. This is looking like it's overpowering me pretty quick. I'm trying to watch for as soon as the last ZOMG comes out to hit the ice, the absolute zero ability, because it seems like it's a permanent effect, so I just want to be able to hit it once and get all of the ZOMGs slowed, and then so I don't have to do more than 3. But I think what I'm going to need to be able to do it like twice once we like start breaking them all into BFBs. Then I can hit it again to slow all those down. I think we may need to really push this past 120. But we have broken 100. So that's good. Good strategy then. Typically if put something over 100 up, not many people are going to want to play you this long. They'll probably quit before they play you this long. Remember, you're playing against mobile people, so you just pick up a game sometime. Most likely they're waiting for something and want a quick game. get to around 100, they're probably have to go back to work, no longer on their lunch break or something. Cycle thing gets in your way too many times. I thought putting it over there would fix it, but it's still an issue. Melting. They come out and the game kind of glitches as they're coming out. So much stuff happening. They look like they're skipping a little bit when I'm watching it. That place? Yes, we did. Yeah, so this definitely feels like I'm doing a lot more work than with the balloon chipper strategy. But at the same time, I have not done the balloon chipper strategy since the last update. We're still in 3.3.2, and the last time I did the balloon chipper strategy was before they nerfed it. So I'm not sure how the balloon chipper strategy holds up anymore. I think the balloon chipper is still a solid strategy, but I'm just not sure if it's the same. I'm gonna have to do that one again soon. Wow, look at that. It's crazy. I'm actually going to go ahead and put the absolute, then I'm going to make 3 more absolute zero ice towers. And then basically just 2 4 ice towers down here so that I can use it twice for each round. Wow, I might lose right here. No. Nope, we're still going. Look kind of close. We may be getting towards the end here and we haven't even filled up the whole board with temples. Maybe there is a lower limit right now. Or this just isn't as good of a strategy. It's probably more likely the case. Sure are getting a long way. Looking like any round now is going to be the end. What the hell? Surprising. I thought I would get to a point of having 10 temples up before I really got threatened. Doesn't look like I'm going to be able to get that far. Those Moabs get an awfully long way. This may be it. No? No? Close. See, without that absolute zero ability, we would have died quite a bit before this, I believe. So close. Barely getting by. Probably need to. I might be able to work it if I start hitting the ability sooner. It'd be better to try to do it halfway and then get the second half with it, rather than trying to get it before the things at the end. Try to group them all up. Like that. I don't know if that was a mistake. Could have been a mistake. 119. $120. Still chugging. This is probably the game. Yep. And we're done. 120. So, you know, I don't know if that's obviously not as far as, you know, I reached 210 on Battle Park using, well, that you can't really compare that because I was using 4 towers and balloon chippers, but, you know, I think this is a fun strategy. It's a predictable strategy, and you will get a 4th tower no matter what. I mean, you can get a 4th tower, it'll be random. Obviously, if you're going to get a 4th tower, balloon chipper is probably the main one you would want. Other than that, you would want a wizard, a bomb, or a glue tower. Those can all be, you spend another 30,000 and they would make your temple stronger. So that would be what you would want. If you're doing a 4th tower, I would re-roll to try to get one of those. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed, and let me know what you guys want me to do next, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you.